Where she's gonna jump. Trying to get it. Oh, too close. Oh, where's her face? Where's her face? She's everywhere. It's the other side.
Million,
5 million.
and which sits on the northern shores of the Saronic Gulf and at the southern end of, or the southern part of mainland Greece. And the majority of that population are living in the capital, of course, which is the city of Athens, sprawling metropolis, which is about, well, 80 kilometres still ahead of us. So we'll continue to make our way. We'll make our way past this this area of Attica, which has a great concentration of industry, particularly gas industries, refineries, petroleum refineries. They refine the gases and the petroleum products right here alongside the shores, and just the lines run straight out to the ships. The ships come up, sail it off to the destinations. In particular, the Balkan countries, actually, the countries further north of here, Greece, Albania, Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Montenegro, these countries, they build their homes as they go. You know, when they can afford to build a little bit of it, they build it. And then if they can't afford to build the next bit until 10 years later, so be it. So quite often the houses are unfinished. It might be perhaps just a single story has been built, but the preparations have been made for a second story to be built on top. But that second story sometimes isn't completed for many years after. So we do pass a lot of buildings that seem to be incomplete. The western side of the city, you'll get your first impressions of this sprawling metropolis, and for many people who approach from the west as we are, many Europeans throughout history who approach Athens from the west, having seen what you've seen before, the thing that strikes most about Athens is how eastern it is in appearance, how much it looks like something that you'd expect from perhaps from the Middle East. Likewise, for anyone who approaches from the east, Athens is their first Western city, the first city that they arrived to of what is now considered Western Europe. Athens for a long time was very much within the Turkish world. Greece was conquered by the Turks, the Ottoman Turks, during the middle of the 15th century. It wasn't until 1821 that Greece was reincarnated as a country unto itself. The Greek Revolution ceded independence then in 1821 from the Ottoman Turkish Empire, so certainly a lot of Eastern influence, particularly over the last 500 years. Athens has been the capital of Greece now since 1833. It wasn't until the Greeks ceded independence from the Ottoman Turks in 1821, but Athens not liberated until 1833. It was at that time that it became the capital of modern Greece. But of course Athens is an ancient city, and it was here in Athens that Western civilization was nurtured 3 millennia ago. The great universities and the democratic institutes of the Athenians, the great thinkers of the classical time. These were the great rivals of the Spartan civilization here within what we now know as Greece. The Spartans, the warriors, the militaristic race of the Peloponnese. The Athenians, on the other hand, the great thinkers, the philosophers, the mathematicians, the scientists, the politicians, the speakers, the poets. They founded their city on and around that 500-metre high rock, which really dominates the views from all of the city's surrounds. Athens is surrounded by these mountains of the Pindus Alps and sits on a piece of the shoreline at that point where the Saronic Gulf enters into the Ionian Sea. As we come over the hills here and start to come properly into the suburbs of Athens, it really is a striking appearance as the city sprawls. It's like a blanket spread out across the base of the Pindus Mountains down to the shorelines